Welcome to the episode number 78 of Q&A series with Suresh GP. Today, in this episode, we're going to talk about a very important topic called Observability Maturity Model. As we consult coach organizations worldwide, a lot of people come and ask, how do we look at the maturity model of observability? To start with, you have to start with monitoring. So that is your level one. Monitoring gives you symptoms. It's quite manual in nature. So you start tracking your CPU, memory utilization, disk space, and it's the traditional way that we have evolved from a period of time. So the first and foremost thing is to start looking at tracking your monitoring, which is infrastructure monitoring, your app monitoring, in the manner that you will get some logs, right? So it is more often manual in nature. And the second step, and because of this limited nature, you will not have a lot more information to troubleshoot. So the second layer that we need to focus on is what we call as the observability aspect of it. So as you know, observability is the ability of a system to provide feedback so that you understand what is happening internally within the state of the system. So it's about internalizing the outputs to understand what's happening in the system. So it tries to go through a systemic behavior. So one of the key aspects, and we talked about in our previous episodes, is the three pillars. We have metrics, logs, and traces. So if you are using distributed systems, you will get a lot more information from traces. So observability will start getting you a much more ability to understand some of those unknown unknowns. So it is providing you a much more systemic behavior at a granularity level. So at maturity level 3, we talk about causal observability. Now, what is causal observability? This is a state where we just look at the topology of your systems, which means your upstreams, downstreams, dependencies, interfaces, and how they all connect with each other, along with timeline. For example, if an incident happened, when was the timeline this incident happened? How did the stack look like before the incident? How did the stack look like after the incident? What is the kind of state changes that has happened? So that we have a better understanding about the topology plus timelines, so that we know the entire value chain. From the time that incident happened to the time that the deliverable was completely met or mitigation was done, you have a better understanding of what has gone within the scheme. So this could means that you have a well-defined configuration management system so that we know the dependencies, interfaces, upstreams, downstreams, and we have a better understanding about the culprit, which component within that particular value chain was instrumental for that failure. Then finally, we call as proactive observability. Now, proactive observability means that how do you leverage AOps, where AOps focuses taking artificial intelligence and machine learning, algorithms and patterns to understand what is the likelihood that this incident will happen in the future. So we have a better understanding and nuances of predicting what will happen in the future so that we understand and apply our best practices to ensure that those incidents do not happen again. So that is our highest level of proactive observability. So if you are starting a journey, start with doing your job of monitoring very well, but also focus on the golden signals of monitoring. Now, if you are looking at what are the golden signals of monitoring, please do refer our previous episodes on golden signals of monitoring. But to quickly recap, it is latency, your throughput, your saturation, and utilization. That parameters will tell you what areas we need to focus. Remember, whatever we are doing as part of monitoring and observability is finally to deliver an outstanding customer experience. So I hope you will start thinking about your observability maturity model, and everything takes over a period of time to get to that reasonable amount of observability. To start with monitoring at level 1, then go into observability, which is metrics, events, logs, and traces. Then move into causal observability, which is topology plus timelines. And finally, go to proactive observability with AOps. So I hope this session on observability maturity model was useful for you to take advantage. If you want to know more information about observability and AOps, Please do sign up for our Observability Foundation workshop of 2 days with DevOps Institute. Similarly, we have an IAOps Foundation course of 2 days from DevOps Institute where we give you much more details of how you can embrace some of those principles, practices to become successful at your workplace. Thank you so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you in our next episode of Q&A series with Suresh GP. Thank you very much.